Really an extraordinarily lucky childhood. I had two parents who were so strong and supportive, and I would say loaded with common sense. One of the points they always made was, look, all this stuff that's going on around us, it has nothing to do with you. It comes with the territory of the work your father does, and his work, and you're going to have to make your life, do your own thing. In those days they worked 6 days a week shooting, so there wasn't a lot of late night partying when he was doing a film. But on the weekends, a lot of the buddies would be over. Claudette Colbert and her husband, they were close friends of ours. Gable and Van Johnson, and Arlene Dahl and Lex Barker, and Jimmy Stewart was so close to the family. The experience for me of growing up in that atmosphere was really incredible. Because my father had access to anybody, anywhere, any time, any place, meeting some of the most creative and exciting people in the world. Hemingway, Pablo Picasso, people in the arts, people in the sciences. It was the natural fabric of my life, of our life. Guns were part of his frontier persona, and he never lost that. We had a gun room at home, which was a game room. There was a billiard table and saddles and some memorabilia and things, but it was his gun room. And he would spend hours taking care of his guns, cleaning them, oiling them.
He took us into the gun room in his home, and he had them in cases, beautifully arranged, and this was part of their life. They would go out and on their free time, would travel to places. Clark Gable, Gary Cooper, and his other friends, they would go out and do their shoots and have a hell of a good time.
Ernest Hemingway and my father were buddies. They just had a basic camaraderie, buddy-buddy kind of a feeling. They loved to go out shooting together. They loved the wild country. Because my father was not, quote, an actor, didn't have any Hollywood airs about him. I think it was a natural friendship that he and Hemingway felt there was a very close link between the two. My mother's nickname has always been Rocky. She has tremendous strength, great vitality, and this tremendous shyness, which I suspect probably, aside from the fact that she was terrific looking, just a knockout, I suspect my father reacted to that as well. They were married in 1933, and they really were tremendous best friends and companions. She was very much of an athlete. She would organize all kinds of sports activities for him. My father loved to shoot. He loved guns. My mother refused to kill anything, but knowing my father loved shooting, she took up skeet shooting. She became so good, she was California State Women's Skeet Champion. My father loved it. He was so proud. He'd take her down to the gun club, and she would outshoot a lot of his male buddies. My father was extremely shy. That is the truth. And some of the screen business that one sees, that really came out of a natural shyness. As he got more and more professional, he learned to utilize it.
We went on location first, and but oh my dear, from that moment on, I just loved him. I really did, and it's terrible of me considering he was a married man, but that didn't mean a thing to me because it was terrible of me to do in those days, which one does when one's young. But really, to me, he was the beauty of the world.
My mother and father both, I think, handled it very, very sensitively from my point of view, very intelligently. And I was never made to feel that there was any lack of love for me, or that I was responsible, or that his attitude toward me had changed. In fact, my mother was very strong, really admonishing me not to blame him. She, in effect, said, these things happen in life, and your father loves you very much. Nothing will ever change that. And, we'll work it out. We'll see it through. Even during the time that they were separated, we continued doing things together as a family at odd periods, and we'd spend a couple of months together going off and doing a lot of fun things and family things.
The separation from his family at one time, which was unfortunate, which just tore him apart at times.
I didn't intend to break up the marriage when we started, but it was real deep love. Things were happening to him. He had to go to the hospital. It was an ulcer. Because what you're doing is eating you up. And I called his mother, hoping she would say something delicious to me. But she didn't. She said, it's all your fault. And it disturbed me, and I called Gary, and I said, this is it. And he was in the hospital, and he was upset, so I didn't see him then. That broke us up.
Whatever decision-making process he went through when he decided he wanted to come back home, those are always mutual decisions, It takes two. I think it's stupid to say you go back, because you don't go back to anything. You either have the wherewithal to pick up and start again. And the two of them did, and as a family we did.
It was a terrible blow to Hemingway to find out that Cooper was dying, and he found out the way everybody else did by seeing James Stewart accept this honorary Oscar for Cooper in March 1961 and then break down and sort of inadvertently reveal that Cooper was too sick to come and get the award himself.
He gave me a wonderful lesson because we went to play golf one day when he was still well enough to play. And I was thinking, walking around the golf course, who the hell cares? I mean, so what if you hit a birdie or an eagle, or if you're over par or under par? He's not going to be around in a month. Why care when you know time is so limited? And in fact, he cared even more. And it didn't matter that there wouldn't be very many tomorrows. It was focused on today. When he got the diagnosis of cancer, he opted not to do a lot of treatment for it. They didn't have as many options then as they do today. He said, I've had one hell of a great life, and he was very at peace with himself.
He was a child of his time, and I doubt if that could ever happen again. That kind of personality. We are too cynical now. It's like you can't make a Frank Capra movie anymore, because there are no Frank Capras and there are no Gary Coopers. And it's sad, but true.